Raider Nation. Thank you for joining us on the Only Nation podcast, brought to you by the Raider Ramble. My name is Heidi, but you may know me as Kevlar Promdress or even Raider Ladybug. I'm here with Raider Homer, and we're ready to talk some Raiders football together.
Always ready to talk Raider football. I love talking Raider football, especially with the Raider Nation. So make sure you communicate with us, Raider Nation, and give us a call at 904-701-8667. That's 904-701-8667. You can also email us at theonlynationpodcast@gmail.com and find us on Twitter and Instagram at OnlyNationPod. Make sure you like our Facebook group. It's the Only Nation Podcast. And be sure to like and subscribe on all your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps.
All right, today on the show, more free agency news. There's going to be an update on how the coronavirus is affecting the NFL and a bit of news about the stadium. We'll also be telling you about this week's special Heidi's Hero. The biggest news, however, is this. We have stickers.
Stickers!
Stickers!
I like stickers.
Yeah, you'll be able to get one of them from Homer in one of his upcoming promo packs. Once again, if I ever remember to mail them to you.
Mail them.
If you'd like to get one sent out to you for free right now, though, just message us and give us your address. It's as simple as that. First come, first served.
All about getting the word out there, Raider Nation, so make sure you're sharing our posts, when our podcasts come out, man. We appreciate it.
Tell a friend, share the podcast, let everyone know how wonderful we are.
Yeah, if you care, you share. Those of you that know the bear, you know how that goes.
That's right. All right, well, let's just hop right into this continuation on free agency.
Well, let's do it.
All right, since our last episode, we have signed or agreed to terms with wide receiver Nelson Aguilar. He signed for the veterans minimum for 1 year, and his contract is worth up to $1.04 million. Problem is, he kind of has a reputation for dropping passes, but in his career, he's dropped 24 passes, which is 6.3% of the pass targets thrown to him, compared to Amari Cooper, who has 46 drops and a 7.8% average. So we actually came out ahead on that one.
Well, I like that we got the pick for Cooper, the first round pick, and we didn't have to pay him a lot of money to have such a high drop rate. Now, that's kind of, questionable, I guess, when you compare them, right? In 2017 and 18, Aguilar had 700 plus yards. We wanted to be more about 2017 range, where he had 767 yards and 8 touchdowns. If we can get that out of him, that's a good signing. That's a very good signing.
Yeah, it is. Kind of the question that remains, though, is where is he going to play? A lot of it, I think, is going to depend on the draft as well. And if we get a wide receiver, towards the beginning of the draft, we could probably even get a really good wide receiver all the way down to the 3rd round, just because the draft is so deep this year at that position.
I'll still, I like the idea of defense first, I guess where we're at now, even though we got, Kwiatkowski and we got Corey Littleton, we got some defensive tackles. I still like the idea of defense. Hopefully Simmons drops, still praying for that. You never know, but it's unlikely. But, I guess, right? If CeeDee Lamb is there at 12, even though Mayock is saying that they don't like to take wide receivers, or it may not be a good idea to take a wide receiver in the first round. That guy seems to have it all, so I don't know. I'm excited to see where they go in the draft, But defense, if we can build a strong defense to stop the Chiefs, with Gruden's style of offense, where he wants to control the ball, run down the clock, if we can have a defense that'll allow, 17 to 21 points on average, we can definitely score 24 to 28 points a game and win those close games with a tough defense. We talked a lot about building around Carr. Yeah, that's what you have to do with Carr. You have to build around him. I'm not too worried about that. But if you can give him an elite defense, I think he can do what Brad Johnson did. He's definitely that quarterback that's in between, a Rich Gannon and a Brad Johnson. So I think you give him a good defense and he can win some games. And we know he's got 19 fourth quarter comebacks. That's the most since he's been in the league. So, and it's a Raider record too, I think. I mean, just give him a defense and let's see where he goes.
Well, he needs that number one wide receiver as well.
Yeah, so either defense or wide receiver, right, depending on who's there. In the third round, you never know what we're going to do to get into the second round. So we might be able to swindle somebody, hopefully, like we did the Cowboys and like we did the Bears too. Yeah, they got a hell of a player out of Mac, but now they're in contract hell, and we shut them down in London,
Yes, we did. All right, the next guy that we picked up, and he is going to be one of the all-time Raider favorites, even if he never steps foot on the field. Offensive guard, OG, Eric Kush.
What'd you say about Kush?
You got a cough there for some reason?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. It's not dry.
Uh-huh.
I don't have the Rona.
He was drafted by the Chiefs in 2013. He's played for quite a few teams. The Chiefs, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Texans, the Rams, the Bears, and now for us. He has played in a total of 49 games, but he started 19 of them. He's a good depth player, and he's versatile in the interior offensive line positions.
Well, I mean, he has a great name. We all like his name in the Raider Nation, that's for sure. I can see his jersey selling if he makes the team. He's a good depth player, versatile. I like that, especially with Gabe Jackson on the block, on the trade block. We're going to need that kind of guy because Gabe is a swing tackle, and he can pull from the left and he can pull from the right, and he can mow people down. It's just a matter of whether he can stay healthy. So we'll see where this goes. It's a great name, though. Great name.
Yeah, he's going to be the Raiders' anti-hero for many years to come, even if he doesn't make the 53. Okay, tight end Nick O'Leary. He was drafted by the Bills in the 6th round of the 2015 draft. He has played for the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars. In college, he won the John Mackey Award, which is presented to college football's most outstanding tight end. His career stats in the NFL are 53 receptions for 668 yards and 4 touchdowns. So we got ourselves a little bit of depth in the tight end room. And that room's getting pretty crowded.
Yeah, I would think he's a camp body, right? Waiting on, damn it, what's his name with the bad knee?
Moreau.
Yeah, Foster Moreau. We're waiting on Foster Moreau, see how that knee works out. But that's why they got Witten. So I would say Nick O'Leary is just a camp body.
I hope so. We have enough guys at that position that can carry us.
Yeah.
Between Waller, Moreau, Witten, Carrier.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
We've
take.
Still got all those guys.
I'll take Darren Carrier over Nick O'Leary. That's for sure. I thought Darren Carrier was very athletic. I thought he came in and he played well when he was called on. So I would see him making the team over Nick O'Leary.
And then we re-signed a running back that was on the roster last year for the last month or so. Running back Rod Smith.
We have Eric Kush. That's a great name, right? Kush, but Rod Smith. What a terrible name. All I can think about is that Denver Broncos wide receiver that used to kill us, Rod Smith. I don't know. Mm-hmm. This guy, he better not make the team. I don't like that name.
Yeah, heaven forbid he could help us win.
All right, if he helps us win, I'll let it go. But he better help us win because that's a terrible name.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see him being a big contributor, even if he does make the final 53.
Yeah, no.
He might still have some practice squad eligibility left, so maybe you would be looking at that. I still think they might even draft a running back somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Right, we got a bunch of third round picks. I thought that's what a lot of people were saying when we drafted Josh Jacobs. Oh, you can get the running back in the 3rd round. You can get a running back in the 3rd round. So, you would think that they would definitely spend a draft pick on a running back that they believe can come in and actually play and contribute to the team, right away. We also have agreed to terms with linebacker Kyle Wilbur. Now, he's played for us for the past 2 years, and of course, he's returning for his 3rd. I think you were saying that he is a special teamer?
Yes, he's very good on special teams, and he's one of Bisaccia's hand-picked veterans to come over from the Cowboys. He's great for special teams, but you don't want to see him out on the field for a regular down.
Yeah.
Because he's not quite NFL linebacker material, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and special teams, it's important. You have to have all three phases to win. Playing well. So Pistachio getting a guy that he can rely on is a good thing to do. I remember Tim and Eric Johnson. I think a few years back, I forget their names, but we had a guy from Baltimore that came in and played really well for us in like 2016. Trayvon something. I can't quite remember his name, but those few players that come in and play well on special teams, man, they become, successful players in the NFL just doing that. So if that's what he is, I hope he plays well. Damian Harris played well. He was a special teams elitist, or not elitist. Damn it, he was a special teams player. And he came in and he played well for us. So, having somebody come in and play your style of special teams and your system, knowing the way that you like to do it, that's important. And that's why you see Marinelli's players coming in left and right. That the clock is ticking for Gunther, so that you're seeing them build their team. They're bringing in their players just like John Gruden brings in his coaches. So hey,
right,
do your thing.
Let's let Marinelli build the best defense in the league, and let's let Gunther go down to the unemployment line.
He had a nasty defense in Cincinnati. I was hoping to get that. Like I said, if we can get a top 10 defense, that would be good. We can win, at least 3 more games. But yeah, Gunther,
I don't think he's ever had a top 10 defense.
But he did have a playoff defense in Cincinnati. I think for that 1 year, they were playing pretty tough. They were tough in the playoffs. But looking at the numbers, he's not all that great. All right, so we also picked up defensive tackle Daniel Ross, another former Cowboy that we were just talking about. He missed 2019 with a shoulder injury. Best year came in 2018 when he had a sack, 10 pressures, 15 tackles, and a forced fumble, and 252 defensive snaps. This guy, to me, just screams rotation, role player, but somebody that's coming in that understands Marinelli's scheme. Hopefully can bring Hurst, help bring Hurst and PJ Hall, if he makes the team, up to par, and get them ready. But we'll see where it goes. Definitely Marinelli's fingerprints all over this one, though.
Yes, all over the defense.
And that's a good thing. I know that a lot of people were upset about Buckner being fired. Yes, I would love to have
I still am.
I know. I would love to have seen him stay too. It would have made sense to bring in Marinelli as a linebacking coach. But I guess they want maybe to get Marinelli's knowledge, and give that to, Max Crosby and Cleveland Farrell, and the defensive line, and start there, from the trenches out. That's always a good way to start a winning team, a good way to build a winning team. So, maybe that's the thinking, is go ahead and instill the defense, and get to know these defensive tackles and defensive ends. And when your time is up, you're going to know how to utilize these guys, and, it'll be a seamless transition, hopefully, if they do fire Gunther mid-season or whatever.
And then we just re-signed Jordan DeVay, offensive lineman. He returns from last year. He looked really good last year, except he was knocked out early on with a torn pec muscle.
Now, isn't he the guy that also played center for a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah, he was nasty. He was real
I think
good.
it was mainly in preseason.
Oh, okay. In Texas, though, we say Devy, but hey, DeVay. We'll go with DeVay. I did like what I saw.
Oh, we can say Devy.
Yeah, Devy? All right. And, well, I like Jordan Devy, so hopefully he comes in and he smashes people on the face and over and over and over and over and over and over. I'll take it. That's, we talk about versatility, right? with Eric Kush, Jordan Devy. If he can come in and be versatile, man, that helps a lot. Especially learning from Richie Incognito and Rodney Hudson. How to play those two positions at a top level, Pro Bowl level. He's got a lot of learning to do, as we say down here, but I think he's gonna have a great shot at learning that and being able to succeed in the NFL, because the dude was a little bit of a mauler, and then playing guard and center. He loves football.
Yes, he does. And finally, a little bit of free agent news we need to wrap up is it's very disappointing to me. Hopefully I'll get over it someday.
Oh, yeah.
The Raiders and the former Saints cornerback Eli Apple were unable to reach an agreement on a final contract. So he remains a free agent.
Well, I mean, it goes to show that, Mayock, he's being firm, right? He's not going to bend to a player that deserves a prove-it contract. He didn't pan out like they wanted him to in New York. Did bounce back a little bit in New Orleans, but wasn't consistent, I guess. I would like to have seen him come in because he's got a big body. He can play a little bit of man. Just depends on what, we're going to do as a defense, and I guess where they saw him, fitting in as far as his role on the team. So they offered him the money. He didn't like the money. See ya. Saved what, $11 million? I guess it was something like he was looking for $11 million, maybe. That's what I heard.
No, I think he was around 6.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Saved us $6 million. And then with Gabe on the block, that's going to save more, right? So, we'll see. There's still some moves to be made. We are approaching the draft, so it's going to be balls to the wall. Mayock he's going to earn his money now. Because we do need another cornerback, right? I know that you believe in Isaiah Johnson, and I did see that footage of him, with his footwork that was floating around Twitter. He was looking pretty good. But, this to me goes to say that they got a lot of confidence in Trayvon Mullen. I think Trayvon Mullen is going to be a shutdown cornerback. I think he's going to be the best cornerback we've had since Nadi Asamoah. Woodson is the standard, I guess. Him and Willie Brown, Lester Hayes, Skip Thomas, but I think Trayvon Mullen is going to be the next guy in line to become the next great Raider cornerback.
Well, I think with the Apple move, this really opens the door for us to be taking a cornerback in the first round of the draft.
Well, I mean, I all I can say is I listened to the Talking Heads, and they were listing, I can't remember the guy's name, but they were listing like one cornerback that they would possibly take, in the first round. But you never know what Mayock is seeing, right? After he picked up Mad Max, right? You got to believe that he has the eye for talent. So we just roll with what he goes with. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm thinking, because, it's linebacker. The linebacker position is looking very good right now. So, we did, Heath gives us the depth that we're looking for, I think. He replaces Carl Joseph, and I think Eric Harris is going to start. But yeah, cornerback is definitely the biggest question that we have. We like I said, though, I believe Trayvon Mullen's going to answer that. Yeah, I could see them taking a cornerback, a wide receiver. Like, those are the most glaring positions, of need, right? In my mind.
Yeah, especially because with cornerbacks, who is going to play opposite of Mullen?
Yeah.
Right now, they have nobody.
And I think you want a big body guy. I think that's why they went with Eli Apple. LaMarcus Joyner, I think he's going to bounce back, especially with Corey Littleton in the middle, working the middle with him. I think he's going to bounce back in the slot. So you're definitely looking for a big body cornerback that you can match up against some of these big body wide receivers that just run down the field and jump for the ball. Tyrell Williams is that type of wide receiver that even though he got injured and it didn't look like it in the second half of the season, at the beginning of the season, Derek Carr was throwing the ball up to him. So, we need a cornerback that can stop that. And I don't know if Trayvon Mullen's quite there. He's going to have to be if he's going to become the next great cornerback. But he definitely has the ball skills. I think he dropped a couple of what would have been pick sixes. So we'll see. And looking at the size, he's an inch taller than Eli Apple. So, that goes to show, right, that they might have just said, hey, you know what? We're not going to give you that kind of money. We believe in Trayvon Mullen. So then again, what are they going to do in the draft? Get another 6'2" cornerback, I guess. Because you got to have those guys, those big guys on the outside, especially when you're in cover 3. They were in that a lot. They would drop Carl Joseph, into the box. He would play underneath, and then Eric Harris would, have the single high. So, you get those big guys that have some ball skills, have some height, some size. So, yeah, Trey, cornerback is still, possible.
I'm not sure that the Raiders think that Mullen is ready for that number 1 spot.
Well, I mean, as far as experience, right? That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking maybe he was a little undersized, but he's not. 200 pounds maybe is a little light, but that's I don't know. That's pretty heavy still. But I would think it would be more if they did question his ability, it would be more like awareness. And so, but then again, you're bringing in a rookie cornerback if you draft him, so he would have to just step in. They're going to have to, that's another thing, right? Do you draft a rookie cornerback for Gunther's system or Marinelli's system? You know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though. It's going to be interesting to say the least.
All right, and then some of our numbers are in for free agency on the contracts that were signed or agreed to. And the number 1 signing that has all of Raider Nation in a Twitter is quarterback Marcus Mariota. He signed a 2-year deal for $17.6 million. With incentives, the contract could be worth up to $37.5 million. That's a lot of money to pay a backup quarterback.
Could it could be worth that. That's obviously they're bringing him in. They're telling Derek Carr, yeah, we are bringing in a guy to compete with you. Absolutely, Derek Carr. We believe in you. We've been saying that. We know you can put up numbers. We just want to see you throw the ball on 4th down into the end zone. To hell with, protecting, your stats, I guess, as far as touchdown to interception ratio. I think, and like I've said in the past, I think that Mariota running will force Derek Carr to run, and then if Derek Carr is smart, he's going to start running too, but then he's going to try to, get Gruden watching what Mariota can do in the pocket, because we all know in the pocket, if Derek Carr has good pocket, comfortable pocket, he can deliver the ball. I know there's, we debate whether Carr can get through his reads or not, but I still think he can. And that's Mariota, one read. I think Mariota's the one read guy, one read run. One read might go to the next read. If it's not there, he's going to run. I think Derek Carr is going to at least get through, the third receiver, the third option before he dumps it down depending. So we'll see. But this is definitely an incentive-laced contract. It does not mean Mariota's coming in to start. I just think that Gruden being such a fiery coach, cussing and screaming, has had a hard time getting Derek Carr to respond. And even though you can say he's a professional athlete, why would he need some competition? They bring in competition in all positions, so competition is never a bad thing. And Derek Carr only has, 2 or 3 years left. Mariota just signed a 2-year deal. So they have to make a move on another quarterback. I think that if Mariota's contract were really going to say that he was going to be the starter, it would be more of guaranteed money, and Derek Carr would already be traded, because you can't tell me that there aren't other teams that would trade for Derek Carr. Especially knowing that if his cap hit,
not for the price tag the Raiders want.
Well, what do you think they were asking for? A second,
a first.
You got him in the second round. You don't think they would settle for a second?
I'm not sure, but they wanted a first.
Okay.
And nobody is going to give them a first.
Well, then that says that, hey, we know we got a quarterback that can play. Are we happy with every game he plays, the way he plays every game? No. So we do want to provide competition, but we know Derek Carr is worth the first round pick. He's a franchise quarterback. And yes, it's a passing league, so of course he's going to be throwing up a bunch of numbers, but he did take over the total yardage, some other stats, maybe completions or whatnot. He's creeping up on touchdowns, overall touchdowns. That's a franchise guy, a lot of the guys that we've had at quarterback, they haven't been able to put up those kind of numbers, you know. So I think they know that he's worth it. They just want to find a way to fire him up, man. You know, get him to move a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely going to be interesting, though.
Well, I think that they're giving Mariota a genuine chance to start, that there is going to be competition.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would think that, too, you know, because, like, I don't know the numbers, right? But Derek Carr, if they let him go, right, it's not that big of a cap hit, right? And then now you got a quarterback that has taken the team to the playoffs and beat the Chiefs. You know, everybody's saying that.
Twice.
Twice. Okay.
In the cold.
Okay, in the cold.
In Kansas City.
In Kansas City. In Kansas City. You know, he did it. So, you know, ultimately, I'm not like looking at it like it's a bad signing. I'm just thinking he is not necessarily the answer. That's just where I'm coming from. And they said, hey, look, you know, you're a Heisman Trophy winner, so if you can do it, hey, here's all this money, come get it. You know, it's like leading a donkey with a carrot. You know, they want to win, so they're gonna bring in people that can win. You know, that they believe can win, and keep people that they believe can win.
Yeah, and all that I want is us to play the guy that gives us the best chance to win. Whether that's Carr, whether that's Mariota, whether it's, you know, Sally Smith from the car dealership. Doesn't matter. Whoever gives us the best chance to win.
Mustang Sally. How's that song go? Right there.
All right, and a couple other contracts. Defensive tackle Malik Collins, who I am very excited, signed with us. He signed a 1-year contract worth up to $6 million. And almost all of it's fully guaranteed. Would have loved to see him sign for, you know, a 2 or 3 year deal. But we've got him for 1 year, and that's a start. I think he's going to be one of our sneaky signings.
You know, maybe they will take a defensive tackle in the draft, you know?
Could be.
What's that? Kinlaw, right? The Kinlaw defense, the Kinlaw kid. They might, you know, if he falls, they might take him at 12 or 19.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
I think PJ Hall's days are numbered.
Yeah.
He's going to really have to try to impress some coaches this off season. And that's going to be hard to do, seeing that nobody can do anything thanks to the virus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough in this off season to you know, I mean, kids and that, you know, are missing pro day here in Austin, the Longhorns, you know, that weren't able to make it to the combine, you know, it's hurting. You know, they didn't get the chance to show what they can do in front of the scouts. And now these professional players that are working these incentive-laced deals are going to be behind the 8 ball, you know, trying to learn, you know, an offense when they really can't, you know, communicate hands-on, I guess, with the coaches and things like that. Yeah, talking on the phone is different, right? But when a coach is right there to tell you which way to go or tell you how to turn this way or chop this way or whatever, you know. So we'll see how it works out.
All right. And then one of our bigger signings, money-wise, is defensive end Carl Nassib. He signed a 3-year, $25 million contract.
Bye-bye, Arden Key.
Yes, see you later, Arden.
Yeah. You know, Arden not being able to finish the tackles, you know, cost us in Houston. You know, he should have been able to sack Watson. You know, ended up kicking him in the eye, and the damn dude still threw a game-winning touchdown pass, you know. You know, still though, you know, Trayvon Mullins, he did drop, or Tyrell Williams, he did drop some passes that could have put us into position to get the field goal. I think we only lost that by like 1 or 2 points, you know, or we could have tied, you know. But yeah, Carl Nassib or Nassib, you know, he got what, you know, he wanted, you know. So they definitely, I don't
he
see
got
them,
himself a good little deal.
Yeah. So now you question whether they would take a defensive tackle, or excuse me, whether they would take a defensive end, you know, because you got to believe in Farrell or Farrell, and then you got to believe in Max Crosby too, you know. And now they obviously believe in Carl Nassib.
And then helping us by restructuring his contract, Rodney Hudson. He restructured to give the Raiders $5.24 million in salary cap space. But that's including the Apple deal. So We actually have more like 11 million in salary cap space right now. Yeah, so we should be able to pick up a few more free agents.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great leader on the team. He's been a captain for as long as I can remember. Calling out the signals. He hasn't allowed very many sacks. I think it's like one or two over 2 or 3 years. For him to take a pay cut like that, that shows that, either he wants to be a Raider for life or, he's willing to. Because I thought on the back end he was able to void a couple of years on the contract.
Well, he didn't really take a pay cut. He took a different pay structure. He still gets the same amount of money, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd have to look a little bit closer at the contract, but I like that he did it, It helps us, try to win now. Definitely does that. So, and Rodney Hudson, in my mind, he's the best center we've had since, Jim Otto. I know that Dave Dalvey, he won 3 Super Bowls, right? But Jim Otto didn't win any Super Bowls. So which center's better, Otto or Dalvey, So I think that Rodney Hudson, in my mind, is the best center I've seen suit up for the Raiders since, since I watched the highlights of Jim Otto, He's been able to be an Iron Man like that too. He hasn't missed very many games. He's not allowing a lot of sacks. He's and then you remember on the I think it was in 2016 on the wide receiver screen, you saw Hudson pull out, run down the field, and lay out a free safety. A DB. Man, that guy can play football. I'm glad he's a Raider.
Yeah, that's the kind of move that Colton Miller can do too.
Yeah,
that little dude can hustle.
Yeah, remember on when I think it was Reuben Foster in Kansas City, right? When he got that interception and he was running it back and Colton Miller took that angle on him and tackled him at the 2 or 3 yard line, and then our defense, had a goal line stand. Man, that's the kind of play we need, Yeah, Colton Miller.
Caught from behind by the left tackle.
Yeah, he's athletic, That's why they drafted him in the first round. Yeah, he got his ass kicked. A lot of people were downing the pick, right? But he was playing through injuries, and he's shown that, he's quiet too, He just gets out there, blocks people, runs down, people that are trying to score touchdowns on the defense, and just gets back in the huddle. I love that. But yeah, Rodney Hudson, thank you, man. Thank you for being a true Raider and helping out the team, So, what a great player. All right. The league currently plans on holding the draft in a TV studio while cutting into live looks of the teams making decisions. It reminds me of the old days, right?
Right.
The Los Angeles Times reported this, but the NFL, with all this that they're doing on the draft, they still have plans on starting the season on time. So, we're going to get the draft on time, not in Vegas. I'm so disappointed. I had my tickets, I had my hotel reserved, but we're still going to draft, and then we're still hopefully going to play football this season.
Yeah, and we're in line for the draft to come to Vegas in 2022 now. I think next year has already been awarded, but they want to get Vegas to host it as soon as possible. So in a couple of years, they could be coming back our way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have to do that. They got that brand new stadium, they're going to want that, ASAP. And that would have been a kind of a cool thing, see how many other players would have jumped out of the boat into the water and whatnot. Right. Max Crosby said he would. Our time is coming. Our time is coming, Raider Nation. We're going to invade Las Vegas and show them how we do it.
Yeah, and then currently all the NFL teams have all their club facilities closed. NFL commissioner, he sent out a memo last week letting them know that all the facilities would be closed with very limited exceptions. So right now, there's nothing going on. We are trying to, do the draft research. The teams are trying to touch base with players, do video interviews, but they're doing this all, out of their home or somewhere else because they can't do it at their club facilities.
take this coronavirus seriously. Obviously, the NFL is. Thankfully, though, they're still planning on starting the season on time. But yeah, I mean, you got to stop the spread of coronavirus, and it starts with, not getting into groups over 10, right? I guess kudos to the NFL. But yeah, this is going to make it real hard on the players and the coaching staff. Like, this is like almost like a strike season, where you don't really know what the hell's going on. You're just coming in and trying to, hopefully you can just play off of skill and talent and win on that alone, That's what it looks like.
All right, and the Raiders have officially cut ties with Oakland. They declined their option to play the 2020 season at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. So we are done with Oakland.
That's a sad thing. Of course, January 22nd, right? 2020, right? That's when they announced that we were officially the Las Vegas Raiders. So, and then on January 30th, we celebrate the birth of the Oakland Raiders. So it's sad to see that we're officially done with Oakland. I know that the Oaklanders out there are, sad to see this, come to an end. People out there, watched kids grow into men and women and have families of their own, all while watching the games and tailgating together. So that's 20 some odd years, of fandom that they set the bar high. It's gonna be hard for Las Vegas to meet that bar, but there's a lot of the Oakland originals, the Oaktown legends that are in Vegas now. And, they're going to get it done. Cisco Ortega, Alonzo Thomas, they're in Vegas. They're taking care of things for the Black Hole and SBA. I mean, so it's there. It's there. The Oakland tradition will carry on, and it's something that I'm glad that I can say that I went to Oakland. I'm glad that, my daughter can say she went to Oakland and saw a game. There's some fans, there's a lot of fans out there that can't say that, so I'm glad I can. I wish I would have made it out there more, but man, here we go, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas, because I'm a Raider, an Oakland Raider, Oh, wait, Las Vegas Raider.
Oakland is always going to be home.
Yeah. Or as Wayne says, Oakland is Mecca. I like that too,
That works.
All right, and speaking of Vegas, right, the construction of Allegiant Stadium has been ruled to be essential. So construction, it continues in spite of the shelter-in-place declared due to the coronavirus. Still, take that shit seriously out there, Raider Nation. Wash your hands, man. Cover your face, and watch out for the elderly. Don't be a hoarder. Don't do that shit. I'll mail you a damn roll of toilet paper. Just hit me up. The beat rolls on, right? Time marches on. We're moving forward with the stadium. That's a good thing. Because, hell, we're trying to play, right? They still plan on starting the season on time, so we're not going to Oakland, so we got to have a stadium. So they had no choice.
Yeah, we got to have somewhere to play.
Yeah. And, speaking of coronavirus, there was that. It's a miracle, right, that they're still continuing construction because there was a worker that tested positive for COVID-19. So
right.
It's getting crazy. Be safe out there, Raider Nation. Be safe.
Yeah, the numbers, they keep going up higher and higher. And it's nothing to joke about.
No, not at all.
Nothing to joke about at all. Then finally, I just wanted to throw in a little bit of Raider alumni news. One of the guys that has been asked about for many years now, Aldon Smith. He has agreed to terms with the Cowboys. So hopefully he'll be back in the league. We wish him well. He's a great player. We just want to see him be sober, be okay, and be successful as much as he can, as long as he's not playing against us.
Yeah, man, I liked Aldon Smith. I thought he was a great, defensive end opposite Khalil Mack. Well, I thought that the defense changed when he was suspended, much like the Burfict suspension. Aldon Smith was a pretty solid player, I would like to have seen him get through all that shit he was going through and not even really go there. I would like to have seen him not go there, but and continue to play for us, but it didn't work out like that. And hopefully, good luck to him in the NFL in the future.
Okay, well, we got a voicemail from someone.
Voicemail! All right, Raider Nation. That's how you do it. Just send us a voicemail.
Well, it's not one we're going to play.
Oh. Well.
Someone was trying to see if we got any toilet paper in.
Play it. What do you mean? Come on. I just said I would mail it to them.
They put their phone number on it.
Oh, well, you can beep that out.
Oh. Just trying to see if you got any toilet paper in. I missed you yesterday. I'm trying to help some neighbors. Thank you. Stay healthy.
There you go, Raider Nation. PSAs. Hey, we even like PSAs. There you go, Raider Nation. Now, don't we got something from T3 Raider Facts?
This is T3 Raider Facts with this week's version of Heidi's High Five. This week I want to celebrate the birthday of the guy who I think was the best all-around running back in Raiders history, number 32, Marcus Allen. Number 1, he was a quarterback in high school and a fullback at USC his sophomore year, blocking for Heisman Trophy winner Charles White. Number 2, Marcus did not have blazing speed, but he had both vision and instinct that made him, in the words of Coach Tom Flores, the most complete back I've ever seen. Number 3, Marcus was a tough leader. One time when one of the Raiders receivers went down injured on the opponent's sideline and was lying there moaning, Marcus yelled at him to get up. The message was that you never let your opponent see you hurt. Number 4, there was a special play in the playbook designed for Marcus to get a pitch out running left, and then he would throw all the way back across the field to Todd Christensen, who would snake free on the right and go deep. The play was usually very successful whenever it was dusted off. Number 5, Marcus always set a good example during practice. Whenever he got the ball, he would turn upfield and run a 40-yard sprint. This impressed the coaches and rubbed off on many of the other players to go hard until the very end of the play. Marcus may have had a good career when he finished with Kansas City, but he will never be remembered as a Chief. He will always be remembered as a Raider. It's unfortunate what happened between him and Al Davis, and it may be one of the few things Al truly regretted later, though neither one ever backed down. And that, my friends, as we celebrate the birthday of Marcus Allen, is this week's version of Heidi's High Five. This is T3 Raider Facts.
Well, there you go. I love hearing from T3 Raider Facts. I mean, he has a great little YouTube channel. Make sure you go there and subscribe. What is the name of the channel?
It is T3 Raider Roots Podcast, I believe.
All right, Raider Nation, make sure that you're checking out T3 Raider Facts and his T3 Raider Roots Podcast on YouTube. Just type in T3 Raider Roots Podcast and you'll find him. He has some great episodes. He's always got some great insight on the Raiders. He's talking about Marcus Allen. He was a great Raider. I remember him, with Bo Jackson, throwing them the halfback passes, So it's a great, person to talk about Marcus Allen, and he's talking about all that went down with Al Davis and Marcus. We talked about how Mark Davis is rebuilding that legacy, I guess, and repairing Al's legacy and building his own legacy. So it was nice to see Marcus Allen come in and light the torch. So happy birthday to Marcus Allen. Hopefully we can get a backfield like we had with Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen. That would be a great thing to see with Josh Jacobs and, pair him up with somebody else.
Yeah, Marcus remains my favorite Raider of all time. Marcus and then Howie.
Yeah, Howie Long was a beast too. Of course, the all-time sack leader is Greg Townsend. And those two were badass together. That's the old Tecmo Bowl days, when we would run around with Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen, and I would sack people with Greg Townsend and Howie Long and Eddie Anderson. Man, I would get Eddie Anderson, man, and run down everybody. Oh, I love that game. It was a great time to be a Raider fan. That's when I became a Raider fan, the early 90s. Yeah, happy birthday to Marcus Allen. And thank you, T3 Raider Facts, man. I appreciate your calls.
Yeah, and we would have gotten it up sooner, except I messed up on the recording last week, so we had to redo this.
Oh, it's all right. We'll work out the kinks as we go.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we got one major section left, and it is called Heidi's Hero.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be?
This man has forever etched his name as a pioneer for Latinos in sports. He was the first Latino quarterback in professional football history. He was the Raiders' first starting quarterback in the AFL. He was one of only 20 players who were in the AFL for its entire 10-year existence. He was the NFL's first minority coach to win a Super Bowl. In total, he has 4 Super Bowl rings, 1 as a player, 1 as an assistant coach, and 2 as a head coach. This man was also the first Latino general manager in the NFL. Aside from his football career, this Raider has been actively involved in his hometown community of Sanger, California.
Sanger Bangers.
He is, of course, Tom Flores, and he heads the Tom Flores Youth Foundation, which benefits elementary and middle school kids in the Sanger Unified School District. The foundation has donated nearly $2 million since its inception in 2004. Flores also holds an annual Raider Nation blood drive in Sanger, which provides blood for area hospitals. In 2011, he received the Roberto Clemente Award for Sports Excellence. Sanger High School's football stadium is named after him, Tom Flores Stadium. It's in his honor. That's where he graduated from. Flores also holds an honorary doctorate degree from Pepperdine University for humanitarian service. Flores is a member of the Fresno County Athletic Hall of Fame, Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, California Sports Hall of Fame, and the California Community College Athletic Association Hall of Fame. Even though the Pro Football Hall of Fame is too stupid to induct him as of now, in light of Tom's career as a player, coach, and with his service to the community, he's a Hall of Famer in our books, and he's been named this week's Heidi's Hero.
Heidi's Hero. Yeah, Tom Flores is awesome. You know, getting an honorary doctorate degree for humanitarian service, that's what the Raider Nation's all about. That's what being a Raider is all about. Taking what you want on the field and giving everything you can off the field. He's a great example to follow, And Sanger Banger, if you want to know what that is, that's what they call themselves in Sanger, California. Polo Rodriguez is the one that was telling me about that. He knows Tom Flores. Fingers crossed that the Santa Maria Parade is still going on May 30th. In Santa Maria, California. If so, get there, Raider Nation, because you will be able to meet Tom Flores in person and get an autograph. And it's a parade that the Black Hole will have a float in. It would be a great time to meet Tom Flores and tell him thank you for everything he's done for the Raiders. So I'm glad you picked him as your hero, Heidi.
Well, I couldn't help it. He deserves it. He deserves a mention every week.
Yeah, it's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. That's what they do, right? I think they don't want to add to the Raider mystique any more than what it already is from back in the 70s and the early 80s. So there are a lot of players that haven't made it. Lester Hayes, Cliff Branch, who else? Just keep naming them. Todd Christensen, Tom Flores, right? It's just the list goes on and on, seemingly. Hopefully he gets his jacket before he passes away, because that was a tragedy what happened to Ken Stabler. Cliff still hasn't seen his, hopefully he gets in like next year. Thank you, Tom Flores.
All right, and I think this wraps this episode up. You got any closing thoughts, Homer?
Yeah, give us a call, 904-701-8667. We'll help you distribute toilet paper if you want. We'll send you a sticker. You can most importantly, right, you can leave your opinion. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to do, what you want us to talk about, maybe if you got some topics. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to email us at theonlynationpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at onlynationpod, and our Facebook group the Only Nation podcast. And be sure to like and subscribe to us on your favorite social media accounts and podcasting apps.
And send us your address. We'll send you a sticker.
Stickers. I like stickers.
Stickers.
I like them a lot.
All right, go Raiders.
Go Raiders.